Rounding up what's been happening in the capital today with London Live News.
Good evening, it's just gone 6 o'clock. You're watching London Live News with me, Anthony Baxter. The main story this evening.
I'm in Harrow, where a centre that cares for more than 400 people with mental illnesses each week could face closure.
Service in Harrow, a song has been written for a choir which uses the centre. They say the bridge is under threat from council cuts. Let's cross live there now. Our reporter Sasha Spratt can tell us more. Sasha.
That's right, Anthony. As you said there, I am at the Bridge Centre here in Harrow, and the building cares for around 400 people with mental illnesses each week. And as you said, one of the groups that uses this building is a group called More Than Just the Choir, and I'm happy to say that the director, David Phillips, is joining me now. David, thank you very much for speaking to us this evening. Can you just outline the work that the choir does here?
Now, the choir is aimed for people who are affected by mental illness. And we have around 70 members. And what we do, basically, we get together each week and we meet 52 weeks a year, if possible. And we have 3 hours of food, drink, singing, social interaction, fellowship, becoming friends, meeting new people, going out, doing things socially, doing other music courses, working with other music organisations. In fact, we're doing that tonight with another group called Find Your Voice.
And how did the idea come around to create this YouTube video and this song, especially around the theme of saving the Bridge Centre?
Well, the Bridge Centre is just so important for, as you said, so many people who come through every week. If the bridge closes, then people will be forced back into more isolation. People will become iller. One of the biggest barriers to recovery in mental illness is isolation. And one thing the Bridge does, and does so well, is bring people together. It promotes fellowship. It has a range of courses. It has therapeutic groups. It has key workers. People do one-to-one work. And the most important thing, I think, is the fact that you have a hub. You've got a hub of recovery, a hub of community. And if that goes, if those services don't exist, or if they're scattered into different buildings, then you lose that glue that holds the whole thing together, which is the fellowship. And the song came out of that. It was written on Saturday, it was played on Sunday, and it was recorded yesterday. And the passion that is felt and the need to keep this centre open at, I won't say at any cost, but at a high cost. Although, if you compare it to what's going to happen to when people are isolated and they become iller, they fall back on the NHS. Now, if you compare the cost, the bridge costs around, we worked out around £6 per day per client, as opposed to around £400 a day for a stay in hospital. And that's what's going to happen.
Okay, thank you very much, David. And we will be looking at some of the work that the choir will be doing a little later on in the programme.
Hello there, welcome back to London Live News with me, Anthony Baxter. It's just gone 10 to 7. A campaign has started to try and save a mental health service in Harrow. Users of the bridge say the facility is under threat from council cuts. Our reporter Sasha Spratt is live for us there this evening and has the story. Sasha.
That's right, Anthony. As you said there, I'm at the Bridge Centre here in Harrow, a centre that provides services to more than 400 people with mental illnesses each week. And one of those people who actually benefits from the services here is Keir Anderson. Keir, thank you very much for speaking to us this evening. Keir, could you first just basically outline how you ended up using the services here at the Bridge?
Yeah, well, I've been mentally ill since I was about 8, so naturally I've ended up with knowing plenty of other people who are mentally ill. And one of them said to me, it's a really good service, and recommended it because they felt it would be helpful to me.
And what kind of activities have you taken part here at the Bridge Service, Bridge Centre? What services do they provide?
They provide lots of different services. They provide one-to-one key worker support, so you've got personal support with someone. They provide sort of occupational therapy groups, like self-harm groups, self-esteem groups, depression management, that sort of thing. And they provide sort of more socially oriented groups, like a news group or a quiz group. I also benefit from all of those, really, because the key worker and the occupational therapist really do sort of provide a therapeutic sort of support, and the more social groups really help to build sort of structure in your life, as opposed to just sort of feeling a bit lost, which often happens when you're mentally ill.
And the council here in Harrow are considering cutting funding, which is putting this centre in jeopardy. If this place did close, what would that mean to you?
Well, it would mean the losses aren't really valuable, really, because this place, I haven't been mentally ill for so long. I've always kind of felt like mental illness is something I'm going to have forever, and the service here has really made me feel for the first time that maybe I don't have to keep relapsing, and maybe one day I will be just better. So I think I would lose that if it closed, really, is that hope.
Okay, thank you very much, Keir. As you heard there from Keir, the services that this place provides are crucial. And we will be hearing from a councillor from the council here in Harrow a little later on to hear their side of the story.
Okay, Sasha, we'll go back to you then to find out more about that. Next thing to see that, wouldn't it? You'd imagine all sorts was happening. Right, as part of a campaign to save a mental health service in Harrow, a song has been written for a choir which uses the centre. They say the bridge is under threat from council cuts. That's Cross Live News, our reporter Sasha Spratt, who's there for us. So we've not heard much from the choir, but we have heard from those extremely concerned about this centre, Sasha.
Yes, that's right, Anthony. In actual fact, you could maybe just hear the choir rehearsing in the room behind me. As you said there, we have heard from a lot of concerned service users here at the Bridge Centre, and the centre does currently care for 400 people a week with mental health issues. And I do now have Councillor Anne Whitehead from Harrow Council, just to explain the council's position on this issue here. And thank you very much for joining us this evening. Now, this is just another issue around budget cuts, is it?
Yes, Harrow, like all local authorities, have been suffering from massive budget cuts to our local authority budgets, and Harrow's budget has been cut by 83 million out of a controllable budget of about 141 million, so it's a massive cut. And these cuts are affecting obviously every area of the local authority. And me as portfolio holder for adults and social care look after the most vulnerable in the borough, and our budget cut is 18 million. And so we've had to look at right across all the services we provide for vulnerable adults, for the elderly, for disabled adults, and try and find an area where we can reduce our spending. And unfortunately, we're in a terrible position of having to choose between one vulnerable group and another vulnerable group, which is a horrible position to be in. But we felt that with the services we provide here at the Bridge, we could re-provide somewhere else. Whereas some of the other options, if we cut it, there would be no re-provision. For example, if you have we've got a centre for autistic adults. If we cut that, then all those adults would have to go out of borough to other services. Or if we cut reablement, it meant that old people coming out of hospital wouldn't get literally back on their feet. So it's the choice we have is between a rock and a hard place. It's been really, really difficult. One of the major causes of this for Harrow is that we've had a low budget settlement from local government for decades, and that has a massive impact. It's cumulative. The CCG, which is local NHS, also has a low settlement. So we've got no wiggle room. We don't have, savings stashed away like some boroughs, or we don't have a bigger budget that we can shift around. So we're really down to the bone. And one of the things we've been doing as a local authority and as a local council is asking the government to actually give us the money we're entitled to. No extra, just the money that we are entitled to that makes us more equivalent to other boroughs. We get £159 per person, and that's a lot less than other people in other boroughs. hours. So that actually represents 40 million. And if you can imagine what I could do with 40 million extra a year on our budget, it's just, and we wouldn't be in this horrible position that we've been put in.
Okay, thank you very much, Anne, for speaking to us this evening. The contract for this centre ends on the 31st of May, and consultation does run until that day. But until then, we will see what will happen to the Bridge Centre here in Harrow.
Indeed, difficult decisions to be made. Sasha Spratt there for us over in Harrow.